For decades, television has had a love affair with espionage, from the slick, stylish antics of the Avengers to the shadowy intelligence operations of Callan. Spy shows have captivated audiences with a blend of intrigue, action, and secret organizations operating behind the scenes. The 1960s and 70s were particularly rich with these types of series, as Cold War paranoia fueled stories of double agents, shadow governments, and larger-than-life villains bent on world domination. British TV in particular mastered the genre, producing countless shows where agents outwitted their enemies with charm, gadgets, and well-tailored suits. But among all the classics, one show stands out for blending espionage with a touch of the supernatural: The Champions. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Damon, and today we're looking at The Champions, a British spy-fi classic that gave us telepathic secret agents, international conspiracies, and some of the best guest stars British television had to offer. Airing in 1968, The Champions follows three agents: Craig Sterling, Sharron McCready, and Richard Barrett, who work for the United Nations-backed organization Nemesis. After a mission in China goes south, their escape plane crashes in the Himalayas, where they are rescued by the mysterious inhabitants of Shangri-La. Not only do these enlightened beings save their lives, but they also grant them superhuman abilities, enhanced senses, telepathy, precognition, and peak physical and intellectual capabilities. Armed with these powers, the trio returns to the world of espionage, taking on global threats while keeping their extraordinary gifts a secret. The show had all the hallmarks of a classic ITC adventure series: international locations, or at least stock footage suggesting them, cold-hearted villains, and missions involving everything from Nazis to rogue scientists. Each episode started with a map highlighting where the adventure would take place, followed by a vignette showcasing one of the champions using their abilities in a way that was both impressive and amusing. Whether it was Sterling showing off in a sharpshooting contest or McCready casually lifting a car out of a tight parking spot, these moments set the tone for the super-powered spy action that followed. As with many ITC productions, The Champions had a solid ensemble cast, with Anthony Nichols as W.L. Tremaine, their perpetually skeptical boss who often questioned just how his agents accomplished their missions. While Tremaine never discovered the truth about their abilities, he was sharp enough to know something was up. The chemistry between the three leads was a major highlight, with Stuart Damon bringing American charm, Alexandra Bastedo exuding intelligence and sophistication, and William Gaunt playing the steady, analytical agent of the team. Personally, my favourites were Bastedo and Nichols. Bastedo was effortlessly cool as Sharron, and Nichols played Tremaine with just the right mix of authority and curiosity. And let's not forget the incredible guest stars. The Champions featured a who's who of British TV talent, including Doctor Who's finest villains: Roger Delgado, the original Master; Philip Maddock, the Warlord; Kate O'Mara, the Rani; and Edward Brayshaw, the War Chief. Even Batman's future Alfred Michael Gough made an appearance. With so many familiar faces, the show often felt like a crossover event of British television's best character actors. Created by Dennis Spooner, who worked on Doctor Who and the Avengers, The Champions had a writing team that included veterans of other British spy shows, ensuring it fit neatly alongside Danger Man and the Avengers. The production, overseen by Monty Berman, who worked on the Saint and Gideon's Way, had to work within budget constraints, often reusing sets and relying heavily on stock footage. 3 episodes took place on a submarine, 3 more in the Arctic, and any exotic location was more likely a backlot in Elstree, England. Despite these limitations, the show managed to create an impressive sense of scale, even if you occasionally noticed the same sets popping up. The music, composed by Tony Hatch with additional work by Albert Elms and Edwin Astley, was another highlight, fitting the show's mix of action, mystery, and intrigue. In 1983, ITC attempted to capitalize on the show's cult status by creating Legend of the Champions, a feature-length TV movie stitched together from 2 episodes, the beginning and the interrogation. The result was an awkwardly edited mess that barely made sense, with new credits slapped on to reframe the story. This wasn't uncommon for ITC, as they had previously done the same with The Persuaders. But in this case, it just didn't work. Now let's talk about the dodged bullets. In 2007, it was announced that The Champions would be getting a big screen adaptation produced and written by Guillermo del Toro. That's right, the man behind Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy was attached to a film about superpowered secret agents. Sounds promising, right? Well, like many Hollywood projects, it never materialized. Then, in 2021, another attempt was made, this time with Ben Stiller set to direct and star alongside Cate Blanchett. New Republic Pictures, ITV Studios America and Dirty Films were involved, but once again nothing happened. And honestly, thank God. There are some things Hollywood just can't seem to get right, and remaking a British espionage show from the 60s would likely have resulted in another soulless, CGI-heavy disaster. The Champions worked because of its charm, its cast, and its balance of spy action and supernatural mystery. A modern remake would have either over-explained everything, taken itself too seriously, or worse, turned it into some kind of self-aware parody. As it stands, The Champions remains a cult classic, untouched by modern Hollywood's tendency to ruin everything it remakes. The Champions may not be as well remembered as the Avengers or The Saint, but it deserves its place in the pantheon of great British spy-fi. The combination of espionage and superhuman abilities made it stand out, and its influence can still be seen in later shows like The X-Files and Alias. Sure, it had budget constraints and some of its plots were formulaic, but the cast, writing and sheer style of the show made it a fun and memorable ride.
Breaking news.
Thankfully, we never got that Hollywood remake, leaving The Champions as a relic of a time when British TV didn't need massive budgets or CGI to deliver a great espionage adventure. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.